Here we go. Let's go.
It's official. This has been such a journey for you, and so many people have contributed to this day coming. How are you feeling right now?
Right now, I am feeling just happy, extremely happy, thrilled with all these people that I'm looking over and seeing this on the screen, and being here with us tonight. It's surreal that this is actually happening, and I feel great. I feel great. Yay!
All right. So let's start by introducing some people who have been incredibly important. You've had a team of cheerleaders and people who have supported you in so many different ways, but I know that there are particularly some family members that you'd like to welcome and to introduce. Why don't you do that now?
Okay, well, first of all, I obviously wouldn't be here without my parents and my sister. You know, she didn't have to be here for me to be here. That's something I would typically say to my sister, but she's here, and my mom is here, and I'd like to introduce my mom, Lucinda. I've lost her picture. There she is, she's waving. She's here. She is visiting our room from Chapel Hill and has been a role model for me. In the book, you'll read a little bit about how she has done that for me. And my sister is here. She is, I think, may not be able to have the audio and video on, but Sarah Glover with the United Way t-shirt on, that's my sister. And a very, very special person who is just the best. You know, not everyone gets to have a sibling like I do, and she's awesome, and I love you, Sarah. And then also in the studio, we can just listen to him say hi.
Hello.
Is my husband James, who is my rock and support. And then I also want to say hi to my kids who might watch the pre-recording or the recording later, Jay and Mary. And then I brought a little piece of my dad. He, of course, passed away 4.5 years ago, but this is his business card. And he started his own business called Glover Synergy. And he has little birds in his logo, and I just felt like he needed to be a part of this tonight. Yeah. So I brought this for him. That's wonderful. My family that's here right now.
Well, thank you to your family for being such a strong support of you in so many ways. Tonight is a celebration. This is a party. This is a launch party, and we are giving away a lot of stuff. I think it's time for our first giveaway.
Let's do it.
Let's do it.
All right, so James, get ready to read who it is.
Yeah.
So for those of you on Zoom, what we've done is everybody who's registered has a number, and every number is in the bowl. So I'm going to pull the number, and James is going to let us know who is behind that number.
And this person is going to win a signed copy of the book.
Yes. We've got some copies of the book to give away, and then what else are we giving away?
Later on, we'll be giving away a pack of note cards, which has the original Unleashed painting on it that was created, that turned out to be the cover of the book, or actually was inspired to be the cover. So we're giving away books and note cards tonight.
Yes, and for those of you that don't know the story of the book, or the story of the painting, that's something you will learn more about in just a few minutes.
That's right.
But our first winner is lucky number 14. James, who is number 14?
No joke. 14 is Lucinda Glover.
Woohoo! My mom won. Yay!
Yay, Mom!
She's the reason I'm here, so it's all appropriate.
Yes, that is completely appropriate for Miss Lucinda to have won the first book. All right, let's talk a little bit about your process of writing the book.
Okay.
Actually, what do you want the reader to take away from reading the book? What's your hope?
Oh, I have so many hopes. My biggest hope is that in sharing my stories in this book and how I got through some really not so fun times, that others will see a path and they won't have to be stuck where I was, feeling like my voice didn't matter, feeling less than confident, even though I tried to pretend like I was confident and I really thought maybe I was hiding it pretty well, but or hiding the fact that I wasn't. But my hope is that every reader who reads this will feel inspired and just know that they are valuable. They don't have to do anything else. They are already valuable, and that's all they need to know to be able to find their voice and make their mark in this world.
They are valuable just as they are.
That's right. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, I have read the book, and I can tell you that that message comes through loud and clear. You are inspiring so many women and men and children to honor and embrace and use their voice. So,
Thank you.
you're welcome. You are welcome.
Well, it'd be interesting what you decide to.
What surprised you most as you were writing the book? It is a long process. What surprised you most about your experience?
That there's so much to do. There's so many tiny little things. I don't know how many other authors there are out there, but there's so many things to think about. So you think about, just what goes into each chapter. What's the overall flow of the book? How do you incorporate certain experiences and write about them in a way that is relatable? And then what really surprised me is when it came down to getting this thing published, how much there is to it. If you put it up on the Ingram Spark site so that you can get it into Barnes & Noble and other retail sellers like that, and bookstores can order from there, and then you get it up on Amazon, which is a totally different file. It's a totally different file for Amazon and Ingram, and then the ebook is a totally different file, and the cover is different for both Ingram and there's so many little things. But it was really fun, and I had such a good team. I would never, ever have made this without my team, and a lot of them are here. So is now a good time?
Perfect time to introduce some of that team.
All right, is Beth here? There's Beth, she's waving. Beth Lodig. I want to introduce Beth, who is the owner of Inspire Books. And she has been a writing coach for me, but I like to call her my book doula. Doula. Because this was like giving birth. It was like giving birth because there was so much a part of me that was ready to be released, but it had to be at the right time. And I knew it was coming, and I would get really nervous, just like I did before my kids were born. I was like, okay, I'm excited. I'm really ready for them to be here, but I'm really not ready for them to be here. There's just so much to do. So Beth, if you would just say hi to everybody, I would love that. I think she's unmuted.
Yeah, hi everyone. I'm so excited to be here. It is really like attending an exciting birth, and I love the comparison to being a doula. That fits perfectly.
Yeah, she's actually in California, and but that didn't matter because of technology, and
Right.
She was with me every step of the way, and has been just the reason that I've been able to stay calm and birth this book. So thank you, Beth. Thank you very
You're
much.
welcome.
And I'd like to introduce one more person next, which would be Dan. Okay.
All right. Dan's here.
Dan
Dan's right
Campbell.
above Beth.
Right above Beth in our view. Dan, say hi.
I will definitely say hi. It's great to be here. The day has finally come, and absolutely thrilled to be your cover artist. And I heard it was a party tonight, so I hope you don't mind. I invited Elvis to come along as well. He was going to a party at the county jail, and so I told him to go ahead and just stop on in, because
Nice.
this was going to be a raucous party for my friend Helen, who is going to be a world famous rock and roll author here. So good to be
So
here.
fitting.
Good
Thank
to be
you,
here.
Dan. Now, Dan is the artist. Can you all show the slide with the painting? That is the original artwork, the image of it that Dan created, which is also on this note card. And the painting is called Unleashed. Wendy was actually with me when we went to Dan's studio to see it, for the unveiling. And that was just the most magical experience ever.
So it was so heartwarming and such a spiritual experience.
It was.
Yeah.
It was. So
It was a crying party.
What happened was, go ahead. I was just going to say, Dan, that I commissioned Dan to create this painting because it represented a time that was so very special to me and actually kind of kicked off this journey of 4.5 years that the book really concentrates on from my life. So what I'd like to do now with this painting here is read to everyone the story of what inspired this painting called Unleashed. And of course, you know, if you read the book, that I'm over 50, so I need my glasses. And I'm going to read, this will be about 5 minutes or so, this passage, so you understand this was the first thing that gave me a taste of what an unleashed voice might be like. And
specifically your voice.
Specifically mine.
Yeah.
Yes, yes. All right, so here we go. January 9th, 2016 was a day I will never forget. It was the first day I ever truly surrendered my fear of being judged by people close to me. It was the first time I let go of the pressure to do what I thought others thought I should do, either for me to fit in or for them to like me. It was my first true taste of freedom. A few months earlier, my friend and Bible study leader, Frances Penick, approached me to help her with a women's retreat at our church that she was planning. Specifically, she asked me to oversee selecting and leading the music for the event, which was to be called Drawing Near. Frances said she knew I was the right one for the job. My gut immediately told me 2 things. First, she was right. I was meant to oversee the music. That was very clear to me too. And second, fulfilling this commitment was going to test my courage in a big way. A little background here will be helpful for you to know. I discovered contemporary Christian music when driving to visit my parents in the North Carolina mountains in late 2013. The few radio stations I could find with a clear signal during one long stretch of the drive all played Christian music. With no other music options, I listened. And to my surprise, I was hooked immediately. I found the songs reassuring, comforting, encouraging, and easy to sing along to, putting me in a good mood before arriving at my parents' home. I craved more and more of this music in my daily life and started playing it at home. I continued to listen in secret to Christian music as much as possible for over a year, but I didn't dare tell any of my choir friends about it. At that time, I had been a member of our Episcopal Church's adult choir for 24 years, singing Anglican chant, traditional anthems, and hymns in 4-part harmony. Any instrumental accompaniment was played on our magnificent pipe organ, with piano, string, and brass instruments joining in on special occasions. Our choir is lucky to have many talented and classically trained musicians as members. People with this background tend to not like contemporary Christian music and can be quite vocal about it. I never spoke up when fellow choir members found occasion to put down this genre of music in my presence. For example, they made fun of the simplicity or repetition in praise music, or asserted that guitars and drums did not belong in a real worship service. I didn't say anything to let them know I disagreed when hearing those comments, because I wanted to fit in and be a part of this group. I really thought they wouldn't like me if they knew I liked that music. I look back now and I'm sad that I was so misaligned then. Responding to a nudge from the Spirit, I didn't hesitate to say yes after Frances asked me to lead the event's music. As soon as I agreed, a song that had meant a lot to me immediately came to mind, Holy Spirit by Francesca Battistelli. I knew in my heart at that moment that I was supposed to sing this song at the Drawing Near retreat. It would be the anchor song for the weekend and for all the people who attended. This song had power. There was just one problem, however. Holy Spirit is in the contemporary Christian genre, and singing it would require that I assemble a praise band for the event. I feared that if I brought that type of music to our Episcopal church, at a minimum, I would be ostracized by my fellow choir members who clearly didn't appreciate it. At worst, they might kick me out of the choir. I seriously was afraid that might happen. But I did it anyway. I did it because I felt called to this purpose. Pressing forward, I assembled a band with the help of a good friend and musician from another church. I also included traditional hymns, songs, and instruments in the event music to balance it all out. Drawing near arrived, and I stepped up to the mic to sing the opening contemporary Christian song with the band. It went fine. No one rushed to kick me out of the choir. The other songs, contemporary and traditional, were also well received throughout the event. At the end of the retreat, the guest speaker, Lisa Harper, invited the women to sit or kneel as they preferred and reflect over the weekend while the band sang the final song over them. The final song was Holy Spirit. Standing at the microphone, as I began to sing the refrain for the first time, I felt my hands start to lift. Oh no, no one raises their hands at this church. They'll make fun of me. I put my hands back at my sides. They lifted again on their own, getting a little higher as I sang the next phrase, and I forced them back down again. They will surely kick me out of the choir now. As I sang the next phrase, I felt my arms rise at my sides yet again. That time, I surrendered and just let them go. My hands and arms effortlessly and swiftly rose up high above my shoulders, reaching out to God as I sang. In that unforgettable moment, I felt freer than I had ever felt before. At that moment, it was just about me and the Holy Spirit. I didn't care about what my choir friends might think. It didn't matter if they did kick me out of the choir. This moment was worth it. My heart was full. It didn't matter what anyone else thought because I was with God and God was with me and in me. I had tasted and seen ultimate freedom, unending love, and loss of shame. I was free. My true voice and all that comes with it was unleashed.
Wow.
And that's where it began.
How did you meet Dan?
I met Dan through Emerging Women, North Carolina. He had been commissioned to paint some angel paintings for that event. And I saw the first painting that was unveiled, and I was like, this man is going to paint something for me. But I just knew it. And Dan and I have talked about that. But he translated that story to this painting, and I think you can see how wonderful of a job he did. And I'm very, very grateful for that. Thank you, Dan.
It's absolutely my pleasure, and you did such a great job of communicating your vision for your book, and of course telling me that incredible story. And I won't go on, but I could totally relate to it in my own church experience back in my 20s. So, and I went to a sleepy little church that wasn't too crazy about raising hands, and I just totally got your story. You really got inside my heart with your story, and I'm just glad it did come out on the canvas for you.
Thank you very much. So that was Dan, and the next person I wanted to introduce is Nora. Nora Richardson is here. Hi, Nora.
Hi, Nora.
Hi, how are you?
Good to see you. Nora is the person who took this and turned it into the cover. If you can go back to that other cover slide, that'd be great. She was the person who designed the cover. Oh, Nora, hold on.
Time out.
We have to give something away.
It's time for our next giveaway. And this is a copy of the book?
This will be a set of 10 note cards.
Okay, great. Perfect timing, right after.
Yes.
Watch Dan win. Who's number 46, James?
Number 46 is Dot Wiggins.
Dot.
Is Dot here?
I think she is. Yes. She's
All right, Dot. Woohoo!
Yay, Dot.
All right, Dot. I'll get those to you. I know how to find you.
All right,
Oh,
so
we
we
did.
were talking
We were
about
talking about Nora.
Yes,
Yeah.
I'm in.
Nora has created my entire brand. She
Mhm.
designed my entire brand based on my story, and just got to know that. And those flowers
Mhm.
are on brand, and those are from Nora today. She sent those to me. Thank you, Nora.
Let me pause you for just a minute because you have gone through a rebranding, a new branding. Tell us a little bit about that.
That's right. I'm changing the name of my business from the old one, which was Command Communication, and it was kind of cumbersome to say. So now I'm at Speak Up Communications, and Nora has designed a new logo, which I didn't bring a bigger picture of, but it's a bird, which is why I pointed out the birds on my dad's business card. But it's a beautiful bird singing is the logo, and Speak Up with Heart is my new motto, which Nora also helped me discover. That is kind of the whole, encompasses all of what I do.
Mhm.
So Nora, thank you for being here. And by the way, we're hoping there'll be time for questions for Beth and Dan and Nora and the other people that we will introduce moving forward.
Yes. Great. Let's ask another question. I'm curious. Bishop Michael Curry wrote the foreword to your book. How on earth did that happen?
Well, first of all, here's Michael Curry, if you don't know, he is the presiding bishop of the Episcopal Church USA. And he's probably most famous for having given the sermon or the homily, we would say, at the wedding of Prince Harry and Meghan Markle. He actually lives in North Carolina, and he used to be the bishop of the Diocese of North Carolina, which is where my church is. And about a year ago, I was planning the book. I was feeling like I'm in the mood to write it. And Wendy, of course, this monumental person in my life, Wendy, was with me, and we were talking about the foreword. And she said, what if you asked Bishop Curry to write your foreword? And at the time I thought, no way, that's too big of an ask. I couldn't do that. But as time went on, I got up the courage and I asked him. And then it took a very long time for him to respond, so much so that I had given up on him. And understandably so, he's very busy. In fact, this book, Love is the Way, I'm going to give him a plug because this is his new book, which just came out today as well. And it's great. I've already read it. I highly encourage you to take a look at that. But just when I'd given up and I was working on a different plan, an email showed up and said, I'd like to write the foreword for your book. I'm interested in doing that. And then he did.
So what was it about the book that led him to decide to write it?
I think he talks about love, and love is the way. And I think what he saw in my book was how important it is for everyone to find their voice and speak out with love.
Yeah.
And I think he saw that my message is a little bit aligned with his, not just a little bit, it's quite aligned.
It is.
So I think he saw it as an opportunity to lend his voice to the cause in another way.
Yeah, what I see as similar and aligned is that your book is a message of self-love, and how self-love is the way just as much as love for others.
Yeah, it's important. It has to happen first.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
All right. Let's see if there are questions from the audience.
Sure.
Let's pause. So if you have a question for Helen, there is a question to share his link, the link for his book.
Oh, okay. You can go to Amazon.com and type in Love is the Way. I didn't prepare that link, but Love is the Way on Amazon. You can find it there, or probably any other bookseller too. But I know who registered, so I can forward you the link after this
Great.
too.
Yeah, we can send it out to everybody.
Mhm,
Wonderful.
absolutely.
So if you have a question for Helen, go ahead and raise your hand. We'll see if we can unmute you. And I'll also look at chat.
Or if you have a question for Beth or Nora or Dan.
People love the story of behind the painting and the book cover. Where are we?
Oh, where are we? Well, that's a good question. We are in the studio of Attended Events, and Evan Carroll, who runs the studio, is here. And thank you, Evan.
You're welcome.
He and his team are doing a wonderful job keeping us safe and making us look not shiny.
That's right.
Helping us shine on camera in a good way.
That's right. Shine in the most appropriate way.
Yes,
That's right.
exactly.
Yeah, so that's why I wanted to get out of my house for many reasons. And I also wanted to be here just for something different. And they assured us, and we all wore our masks coming in, but we are 6 feet apart and everyone else is wearing masks, and we're being safe. We have hand sanitizer and all of that, but it's a great location, and we're thrilled to be here. Thanks, good question.
Yes. Heidi McKinney asks, how did the pandemic influence your book?
That's a great question. How did the pandemic influence it? Well, it kept me at home, so I had more time to write and fit that in. That was definitely one way that it affected it. At one point, and Beth, I know you'll remember this, at one point I was concerned that maybe with the pandemic, the whole world was going to change and what I had to say would no longer be relevant. I kind of went through that moment of like, well, but, you know, the things I talk about, you know, maybe they're not going to be that way for everybody else. And I don't know, should I address the pandemic? And then, you know, we prayed about it, we thought about it, and we decided that it ultimately was an evergreen book because we all need to love ourselves and find our voice and know that we have value. Every human being has value.
Yes.
But that's probably getting through the recognition that the story that I wrote is timeless, was something the pandemic actually taught me.
Beautiful, beautiful. Al Herr is asking, what are some of the steps that you used to come up with your new brand?
Oh, well, Nora has to help me out with that. The Speak Up, well, several people were involved in the process. I was talking with Barbara Hemphill about this. Beth was talking about this with me. I was talking with my marketing person. Is Ashley on the call? But I was talking with several people about the idea, and Nora, and what would it be? Command communication, everyone always wanted to put an S on the end of it, so, which was not the case. But Speak Up Communications does have the S on the end of it, and it is encompassing various types of communication. So that was one of the steps of finding the name. And then Nora just did her magic to find the logo, and she's like, I'm thinking a bird, and I'm a bird. Yes, of course it's a bird, of course. Nora, it's a bird, it is. Those are some steps, but I don't know, do you have anything else to add, Nora? No, okay. Hopefully
You did a great job. You did a great job.
Thanks.
Let's see, question for Helen. This is from Barbara Hemphill.
Okay.
What was the most difficult thing about writing the book?
The most difficult thing was worrying about the stories that involved other people, particularly my children and my husband. And I was very careful to tell just enough of the details that would help people who might be in my situation be able to relate without compromising their integrity and their privacy too much, because my kids are 20 and 15 right now, so they are, you know, they need some privacy, and I need to respect that. But I was worried about that, but I asked my son about it, and he said, I trust you to put the right parts in there. And Mary actually read it, the part that was about her. And James, you know, he's the hero. He gets to be the hero in the book because he really is my hero.
Go, James. Let's see. How has Sarah, your sister Sarah, asks, how has writing the book changed you?
Oh, well, I have to answer that question this way. Writing the book has changed me because recently, like within the last month, I was feeling overwhelmed, and those voices were starting to come back. And suddenly I just was reading through the book, trying to edit it. And I ran through some of the pages where I wrote about how I overcame some of those things. And suddenly there I was, and I could just let them go. And I talk about in the book at one point that I can actually turn things around in less than 10 minutes. And that's what's changed the most. So when I see something with one of my kids or with the world or with me listening to should statements and trying to go back into those old patterns, I don't have to. I can step out of that pretty quickly. And that's what the book did for me.
I call that interval training, the interval between when something bad happens and we are often, knocked down, how long we stay down before we get up. That's what I call an interval. And you have shortened your intervals of being knocked down.
That's right.
Yeah. I saw that when we went to lunch on Friday.
Yeah. You did.
Yeah.
And you pointed it out, which was really neat.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't know what time it is because Heidi, who's on the call, who's my fashion fairy godmother
Got
and
low
dressed
battery.
me for the evening,
Lovely, Heidi.
she told me not to wear my watch. So I didn't. And I don't know where we are on time.
We are at 8:02.
Okay, cool.
All right. Courtney Chavez asks, are you considering writing any more books in the future? Or what else do you have to share with us?
Well, yes, as a matter of fact. The first thing I think I'm going to do is make a companion workbook to this book. At the end of each chapter are 5 questions, but I actually have more than 5 that I culled it down to the 5. So I'm looking to make a workbook. I think that there could be book clubs, circles, reading circles that would benefit from or might want to share this book. And I thought the workbook would be handy for them to have. And the other thing that I want to do at the same time is a companion journal. So it would have this beautiful image on the front, and it would have a few prompts, and maybe some pages with lines and some pages without lines for people to use as a companion to their story of unleashing their voice.
Beautiful, beautiful. Well, I want to pause with the audience questions to make sure that Marcy is still here, because I know that Marcy is someone else, Marcy Rader is someone else that you wanted to acknowledge
That's
for
right.
her contribution.
That's right. Marcy Rader was one of my coaches and one of the people that were instrumental. She was instrumental in helping me get to where I am. And Marcy and I just had a conversation yesterday about shoulding on yourself and what that looks like and how that can be so destructive. She also helped me understand when I talk about mission critical seasons in the book. She was the one that planted that for me, that Helen, things are going on with your daughter's health right now. Things are going on with your mother's health right now. This happened early in the year. And, you've got to take care of yourself. So that's always mission critical, number 1, right, Marcy? And also, sometimes everything else doesn't really matter. You can just focus on your mission critical missions. And so that's what she taught me how to do. Thank you, Marcy. Can you say hi?
Yes, I can say hi. And I'm so happy for you. And I love this book. So thank you, thank you, thank you.
Yay. So Marcy is also available. Marcy and Beth and Dan and Nora. And then can I go ahead and introduce, let me also introduce Barbara Hemphill right now. Barbara is the clutter lady. She is the person who had the wisdom of these 4 words. Clutter is postponed decisions. She was the one who came up with that. And we did also an interview about that. Barbara met me very soon after that experience, that unleashed experience in my church. And we met at a conference that Tiffany Largy was hosting in Raleigh. And I definitely talk about Tiffany and the book. She was not able to be here tonight. But Barbara and I immediately hooked up together and connected, and she came over to my house. And I was like, okay, I've got to do something about the clutter. I just felt like I needed to. Oh, Barbara, time out.
Time out.
It's time to give away another book.
I wish I was more dramatic about this.
Oh, yes. All right, so we have to remember that the first one was the book and the second one were the note cards. Now this is also the book.
Who's number 44, James?
44. Valerie Tribby.
Valerie. Tribby.
Valerie.
Is Valerie here?
I do not see Valerie. Must be present to win.
Must be present
or-
to win.
All right.
Must be present to win.
Sorry, Valerie.
Sorry, Valerie.
33.
Marcy Rayner.
Marcy!
What do I get?
Yes, you won.
What do I get?
A book.
Get a book.
Well, of course I do. Thank you. Thank
You're
you.
welcome.
Yay.
All right, so back to Barbara.
Yes.
Barbara came to my house and it was a mess. It was a mess. And Barbara, we talked about how it was covering up my voice, all the clutter and everything. And she came in at just the right time. I was just getting started on my journey. And she was the one who inspired me to write a book. She was talking about how there are so many people with so much clutter. And if I were willing to share my story about how moving through the clutter, telling it who's boss, that's the name of the chapter about clutter in my book. If I was able to do that, I could help so many people.
Yeah.
And if I could write it in a book, I could help so many people. And I will tell you that many people who've read it, some of my previewers have said how much they resonate with that. And that clutter, it claims our voice. It really does. And we have to move beyond it. So Barbara was instrumental. Will you say hi, Barbara?
Oh, I'd love to. Thank you so much for inviting me to be here. And I'm so proud of you. You look radiant. And the message is so important. You know, we talked about how the pandemic had changed it. And I think the pandemic has just made it more important, because I think what's happened is it's revealed to people how many people were doing things that they didn't really want to do or like to do. And now they're finding that it's kind of time to reset. And reading your book is so inspiring to people. And so I just thank you for having the courage to do it and the persistence. I think the statistics are that 80% of the population says they have a book in them, but it's something like 3% actually write it and only 2% publish it. So you're in a rare world. So congratulations and thank you for persisting to get it done. You will bless the world for many, many years to come.
Thank you, Barbara. Thank you very much.
Ah, beautiful. So do you want them to go into breakout rooms?
Yeah, let's do the breakout room activity.
All right, so we are going to do a 5-minute breakout room activity. What we want you to do is to tell the people in your breakout room, first introduce yourself to them, tell them how you know Helen, and then we'd like for you to share a time when you spoke up, when you felt empowered to speak up. It could be about anything, because there is value in everything that you do. So we're going to put you into breakout rooms of 3 to 4 people for 5 minutes. So give me just a moment to set that up, and then off you'll go.
We thought this would be a good way for you to have a chance to use your voice in this celebration. And I'll keep talking while Wendy is setting it
Yep,
up, because I know how to do that. I love to talk. My daughter used to tell me that, Mommy, I think your favorite activity is talking. And I think she's right. All right, looks like we're breaking up. So enjoy your breakout rooms.
Breaking out.
Breaking out, not breaking up.
Welcome back. I think there was another person that you wanted to introduce, and then I'm going to invite the folks who said they had some incredible experiences shared in the breakout rooms to see if any of them want to share in the large group.
Okay.
But who is the other person you want to
There's one
introduce?
new friend in my life, a very special person that I believe I was meant to meet. And she is joining us. If you see on the screen, the one that says E, I didn't warn her that I might introduce her, but Elizabeth is my virtual assistant or remote worker. She actually lives in Nairobi in Kenya. And she is up in the middle of the night to be here. And I just wanted to acknowledge that. And I don't know, Elizabeth, if you can unmute or get your video either way and say hi. But if not, I just love having you in my life. I'm so glad you're a part of my team. And I think it is so cool that you are here from Kenya tonight. I think that is just like the best. So yay. Yay, Elizabeth.
Thank you, Elizabeth. Yay. Yay. All right, so we got some chat messages that there were some incredible experiences shared in the breakout room. So if you would like to share something you heard in the breakout room, and we invite you to raise your hand, and we will unmute you. Who's got an experience to share?
I have an experience that Helen actually helped me with. This is Marcy.
Okay. Go for it, Marcy.
Yeah, so this was recent, and it was in July. I went home to see my dad and my parents, and we have very different views on many things, most things. And it was a hard weekend for me. We have different political views, different social justice views. He lives in a very rural part of Indiana in a bubble. And I see him 3 times a year. And I was with him for about 48 hours, not all of which I was even able to see him. And normally I have no problem saying how I feel and speaking up. And I made the decision not to. And because I just wanted to be with my dad and love my dad. And Helen was actually one of the people that I messaged. I left Helen a voice memo, almost telling her about it and in some way wanting permission. And or to tell me that was the right thing to not speak up and speak out. And she said that she would have done the same thing. And you even alluded to speaking up with heart, and I just chose to stay silent with my heart out of love for my dad. And it was one of the best messages that anyone could have given me at the time. So you do not even know, well, now you know how meaningful that was to me, coming from the person who is encouraging and is making a business out of telling people to speak up, that it was okay for me not to.
Yeah. Thanks, Marcy.
Mm-hmm.
It is. That's your heart speaking. Oh, sorry, Marcy, to cut you off with this.
I was done. I was done.
It's the prize.
Prize
Yeah.
leader.
We need to bring the energy up anyway. I kind of brought it down. Now we bring it up.
All right, so this is for another pack of 10 note cards. Who is it?
Number 19. James, who's number 19?
Melissa Howell.
Melissa Howell.
Yes,
My
Melissa's
cousin.
in the house. Congratulations,
Woohoo.
Melissa.
All right, Melissa, we'll work that out. because she already ordered some, but that's okay. We'll work it out, Melissa. Yay! All right.
All right.
So we have one more giveaway. We're going to give away one more book at the very end.
Okay.
But do we have time for a few more questions if people have questions?
We do. If you have a question for Helen,
Or
please
for any
feel-
of the other people that we
or
introduced.
anybody who has played a role, anybody in the room, feel free to type that in chat.
We've answered all the questions.
I think we have thus far. I think we've got them all.
All right. Well, I'll invite all of you to take screenshots or take your cameras and take pictures of what it looks like on your screen so that I can see. I see this right here, but I don't have my camera, so I can't take my own little screenshot. But I have loved having all of you with me virtually. Yay, I'm giving you a big hug. This has been such a big journey. All of you who are on this call have been a part of this journey. You've all contributed to this and to what this is going to become in the world. This is a movement, I think, that it's time for, that people know that their voice matters. And if my journey and the stories that I tell that were hard to tell, some of them, if they can help just one more person, then I've done my job. I've planted that seed, and that's what really matters.
You have unleashed your voice.
Yes, I have.
And you are inspiring so many people to unleash theirs, and to tap into their voice and to use it. So, Helen, thank you. I'm going to do a shameless plug before we wrap up that last I knew, Helen's book was number 4 on the Amazon list go ahead.
It was adult Christian ministry was the category, but it was at number 4. So if you haven't bought the book yet on Amazon, you can buy the ebook or the paperback version. Or if you have someone in mind you'd like to give it to as a gift, you could help me potentially get to the bestseller status. It's not about that. It's not about being a bestseller. It's about that if I am, then more people my book will show up in more searches and I can reach more people. And that's what I'm about. I want to reach more people.
Let's help Helen reach more people.
And there's one more thing. The next slide is a video playlist I've put together with all these interviews with people, with Nora and Barbara and Marcy and Dan and Beth so far. And there might be a few more that I end up adding, but this is a video playlist, and the bit.ly link at the bottom, bit.ly/voice unleashed playlist. You're certainly welcome to take a look at that if you would like. But yeah.
Do we have one more prize?
We do. We have to do one more giveaway for a book.
The last lucky winner is number 31, James.
31, Tracy Phillips.
Tracy Phillips. Tracy's not here. She told me she couldn't come at the last minute. So,
Okay.
Sorry, Tracy.
Sorry, Tracy. Number 36.
Phoebe Rivenbark.
Phoebe.
Phoebe.
Phillip?
Nope.
Nope. Sorry, Phoebe.
Nope.
One more time. Third time's a charm.
Number 34.
Vidya Raymond.
Vidya's here.
All right, Vidya. You win a book. Yay. All right.
Well, I want to do a huge thank you for inviting me to be a part of this.
You're welcome, Wendy. You and I just were meant to be friends, and I just remembered you were the one who introduced me to the first Tiffany workshop too. So, I mean, so many important things that happened were because of you, and I'm so glad you're here. Thanks for being here.
I am honored to be with you and to celebrate you and this part of your journey. I also want to do a huge thank you to Evan Carroll and
Yes.
attended events.
Yay, Evan.
Your entire
attended events.
team has done an incredible job. Thank you.
Thank you very much from me too. Wow, very good, very good. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Well, y'all have a good night. Thanks for your support. I love you. I love you all.
Great job, Helen.
And
Great job.
we'll, thank you. Have a great evening. We'll
Good
talk
job,
soon.
Wendy.
Thanks,
Wendy.
Dan. Thank you. Thank you.